What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of Nalo Kicking Knowledge. So, we're in our first house series. We've just covered the moon in the first house. Today, we'll be covering the moon in the first house and what happens when the moon comes into the first house of a person's birth chart. What is the first house? The first house represents our physical body. It is our actual personality, our interactions with the world, directly what we show to the world through our personality. All right? Simple as that. The moon is our mind, our emotional nature, how we nurture others and want to be nurtured in return. It represents the relationship with our mother, so on and so forth. So, when moon comes here in the first house, naturally it makes a person wear their heart on their sleeve. These are the people. So normally the moon sign is known as like the part of yourself that you keep hidden from people that don't know you very, very well. It's just normally said only those who you really let in know get to see your moon sign. But when moon comes into the first house, that the moon is on display for everyone to see. So I want you guys to start keeping this in mind that first house are obvious traits. All right, these are the traits that people see in us probably more than we see in ourselves. So, like I said, when moon gets here in the first house, it automatically makes the person a very empathetic, sensitive, nurturing kind of person. Of course, if we got a Capricorn moon here or something like that, it's definitely not going to be of that nature. But at at worst, the person is going to be an advice giver. They will still feel, even if they're not an overly emotional person, they'll still feel that motherly kind of role for their friends, loved ones, or whatever. They'll be really, really into that. And like I said, they may not even notice it themselves, but these are qualities that they give off. So, one question I always get asked a lot is how can you tell if someone is psychic or really, really intuitive through their birth chart? Well, moon is a big, big component in that. It's sign and of course house. When moon gets into the first house, it's like I said, very receptive to others. So that would be one indicator. One indicator of someone who could be really, really intuitive. Now, you know, I had this conversation about like air signs and intuition and things like that, and say that because you got a earth or an air sign, and uh, that you're not as intuitive or whatever because you're not in touch with your emotions. No, earth signs can be like earth moon signs can be really, really intuitive. It's just a matter of how you're receiving the messages and you understanding how to decode that, right? So a first house moon is their surroundings, their immediate surroundings have a large impact on them. So their first house moons are known to be not. I'm not gonna say that they swagger jack people, but they know how to. They'll look at someone and be like, okay, I like their style. I'm not gonna completely take their style, but I'm gonna adjust my style around theirs. Okay, like they're inspired by a lot. Career wise, first house moons. What I see a lot is teachers, nurses, of course, just people who tend to work with older folks, especially when Saturn's in the picture or aspecting it. Um, but first house moons, they are very much so using their mind to connect with people, their emotions to connect with others, and you see this in them, okay? And they may not always see it in themselves, but they're highly influenced by the people around them. Because keep in mind how the moon goes, the moon is always changing. And as far as the relationship with mom goes, mom is really like their confidant. Mom is their guru, everything for them. Mom usually has a really, really big effect on the life in a positive way. Most times that I've seen it. It can go negative, depending on the aspects and things like that. But for the most part, these people, especially like if it's a guy, you embody your mother's personality to a large degree. All right. Now, romance wise, moons in the first house are so romantic. They are, very much sensitive lovers. They like, you know, being intimate with their partner. But the they're moody in love. They're moody in love, and it's not like they'll want to be with you today and I want to be with you tomorrow. In the it's like that in the sense of personal space. So, like I said, the moon in the first house, you're gonna see the phases of the moon on these people more than others. Okay, so when the moon shifts, you're gonna see a change in that person. Okay, and how they are. So in romantic relationships, these people, they're moody lovers. Sometimes they may give you lots of love and affection for weeks straight and then detach for another couple weeks. That's just because they're moving like the cycles of the moon. All right. But nonetheless, these guys tend to look for partners who you know are like them, but they normally don't get partners like themselves because from my study of relationships, opposites really do attract people who are you know very caring and giving and nurturing in nature usually attract the opposite kind of person, someone who is just taking that and not really giving it back. So that's one problem they tend to have in love, in addition to the moodiness, is not having that the emotions reciprocated. Right? Now, keep in mind one thing I've definitely seen time and time again, um, with Cancer ascendants and moon falls in the first house. It make like Cancer energy. From what I've seen, a lot of great comedians have um a lot of Cancer in their chart. And from what I've seen, it's like first house moons. They really, their understanding of people and way, like I said, a Capricorn moon is not going to sit there and cry with you and put nurse you back that way, but they may make you laugh and take your mind off of things. So with first house moons, especially Cancer ascendants, I've seen just um a natural just talent for making people laugh, not necessarily like a comedian, but just making people feel good and comforted. So that's a real gift of this position. And like I said, writers, poets, philosophers, you're when moon's in the first house, whatever's up here, you're trying to express to the world. So yeah, you like I said, you don't keep first house moons don't keep their thoughts hidden too much. They're very expressive, and most of them are some brilliant minds. Another thing, another thing I'll just say about the first house in general is that, like I said, um, when the moon is here and it's in like Cancer and the ruler, the first is in the first, the this normally gives the person very, very good health. It's like the first house is being protected since moon is in it and it's ruling it, it's protecting it, and it normally makes the person like very healthy and gives them an athletic body and things of that nature. Next thing is, so the rulerships. Like if you're, reading for somebody or trying to figure out your own chart, you got moon in the first house, or really any planet in the first house, but especially moon because it's your mind. Say you're a large part of your direction in life is going to be a part of that house that moon is ruling. So let's say we have a Virgo ascendant and moon is in the first house. Moon is in the first house and is ruling the 11th for Virgo ascendant. Um, the the person will be very much so emotionally inclined towards their aspirations. They're going to, be like the things that they want to accomplish in life. Their attitude towards that is going to be very emotional, and sometimes they may be all in with their hopes and dreams and others, and then sometimes they just may be like, F it. Remember, cycles of the moon, up and down. Okay? Let's say the the ruler for the first is the moon is in the first and ruling the eighth house. Then this is somebody who is going to be very much inclined towards making moves with others. If they're trying to create a project, they're going to try to recruit others to be a part of this project with them so they can share the resources and things like that. So wherever moon is ruling, that house is going to be playing a major effect upon your direction in life. So keep that in mind. All right. So guys, this is my interpretation of the moon in the first house. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, comment, let me know what you think. Until next time, peace.